In this guide, we are going to learn about base layers. We will now be discussing base layer. The base layer immediately under the surface layer, and so is subjected to heavy loading. The thickness of base layer depends upon the characteristics of the underlying sub-base and subgrade layers. This work consists of coarse aggregates interlocked by rolling and bonded together with screenings, binding material and optimum water content. The load-bearing capacity of the subgrade layer should be carried out to design the base layer. CBR report should be generated from the test results and further design of base layer should be made. Functions of base layer. The primary function of soling is to distribute the load over a soft subgrade. It is done in such a way that there will be no sinking of the road crust into subgrade. There are three commonly used types of base layers: soling, water-bound macadam which is WBM and wet mix macadam which is WMM. Base course, soling. Stones are hand-packed, firmly set, in layers with maximum thickness of 230 mm when compacted. Tolerance of 25 mm is allowable. Soling should be done on leveled and compacted. All utility lines should be in place before soling work begins. Voids in the rubble soling needs to be filled properly with 63 to 90 mm stone metals. Must be rolled properly after void filling. All voids to be squeezed with smaller stones, well driven in, to tightly packed and completely filled with small sand or quarry dust. Rubble soling precautions. Stone's broadest side should be downward and greatest length across the road. Large stones should be placed at edges or at center. Base course, WBM and WMM. The materials used in base course are wet mix macadam, water-bound macadam. The selected mix for WMM is prepared in a suitable mixing plant, with adequate proportion of water. The important part is that the mix is properly graded, to get a dense mix. For WBM, the stones are spread on site, then the filler material is laid followed by adequate water spraying. It will then be compacted by the rollers. Construction of water-bound macadam base. Step 1 is spreading. The material used in WBM construction consists of coarse aggregates, sized 63 mm to 45 mm. The foundation for receiving the new layer of WBM may be either the subgrade, sub-base or base layer. The coarse aggregates are spread uniformly, usually in 115 mm thickness layers, in proper profile. For heavy traffic, 2 layers of 75 mm each should be used. Templates should be marked every 6 to 8 meters apart. Templates should be of depth equal to the unrolled thickness of the metal layer. They are then spread uniformly by raking. In step 2, voids can be filled with screening material, of same material as coarse aggregates. However, use of sand, gravel or yellow earth can be permitted. The size of material is 13.2 mm, and shall be 12% to 20% of volume of WBM. Ensure grading requirements are followed. Dry rolling should be performed to ensure all material is settled. Only after all the screening material is settled, and voids filled, sprinkle water, to ensure all the smaller aggregates settle, tightly filling the voids. Construction of water-bound macadam base, compaction. The final step is compaction. Layers then compacted by roller of 6 to 8 ton capacity. Capacity depends upon size and hardness of metal. Binding material is applied at a uniform and slow rate, to get an even surface. Generally, quantity required is 0.05 to 0.1 cubic meter per 10 square meter area. Then the layer is allowed to dry overnight. It is transported to the site and is spread using self-propelled paver finisher machine, to the required thickness, grade and cross slope. The WMM layer is compacted using a vibratory roller. No traffic shall be allowed before a bituminous surface course is constructed. Selection of stone metal. Stones should be able to resist aberration, weathering, and crushing. Their shape should be such that they have good interlocking properties. Angular-shaped stones provide better interlocking. Avoid flaky aggregates. Use a penknife to scratch the surface. If there is a deep scar, stone is too soft to be used. Brittleness, use a 250-gram hammer. If the stone breaks easily, it is too brittle. Appearance: stone should be uniform in color, and should not have any green, reddish, or yellowish tinge. Size of metal: stones are commonly available in following sizes: 63 mm to 90 mm, 40 mm to 63 mm, 20 mm to 50 mm. However, as per MORTH specifications, the stone size of less than 53 mm should be used for WMM, as seen in the attached table. It is very important to note that size of 53 mm is specified, and not 63 mm, that is commonly used for WBM. The material shall follow IS specification 2386. The abrasion value and the impact value shall be 40% and 30% maximum respectively. The combined flakiness and elongation shall be 35%.